Alright, what's good YouTube, it's Jay here. Today, I am here to give you a complete and totally unbiased opinion on Modern Warfare 3. I've played Modern Warfare 2019, I've played Cold War, I've played Vanguard, and I've played the recent MW3 beta, so I've had a bit of time to kind of experience all of the recent Call of Duties over the last few years. I've grinded all of them pretty hard, except for Vanguard, because I didn't really like Vanguard like that. But I did grind MW2 pretty hard, got all the camos and stuff done, and I figured I'd just give my perspective on this game, having, played so many of the recent Call of Duties. So again, this will be completely unbiased. This is not me trying to sway your opinion on anything, telling you it's worth it or whatever. Like, from my perspective, I already think it is, but again, I'll explain everything. So we're gonna keep this relatively short, so we'll do this in orders of three: the good, the kind of whatever, and then the bad. Let's start off with the good of the game. So we're going to be getting all of the MW2 maps remastered, which I know is a bit weird for Modern Warfare 3, but I mean, whatever. It's Call of Duty's 20th anniversary, and apparently that's the main reason why they wanted to do it, and not totally to sell the game. The maps are fun, honestly. They're colorful for the most part, except for maybe Skid Row. Skid Row's a little gray, but I mean, it's not too bad, honestly. Like, I enjoyed pretty much every map save for Estate because it's just stupidly large. I didn't have fun on Estate. Skid Row was great, and in my personal opinion, it's probably the best map out of the entirety of the beta for the most part, in terms of like playing objectives, like hardpoint, kill confirmed domination. I had the most fun on it, honestly. I didn't feel like I got totally screwed over by the spawns on that map like I did most of the other ones. I would say High Rise is probably my second, and then everything else is just kind of whatever afterwards. I enjoyed Rust for what it was worth. It's very clearly just a run around, gun drop, try to drop 100 kills, and maybe a nuke kind of map. It's like a shipment basically, and I mean, yeah, it was cool. I had a fun time on it here and there. But overall, I would say Skid Row, High Rise, definitely the best two maps out of the entirety of the beta. Rust is kind of whatever. Favela is weird because there are just so many rooms you can go in on that map, and the spawns are just kind of all over the place. I feel like it's a great search and destroy map, but otherwise, there's just too much to watch. And I don't remember if the OG Favela actually had as many rooms and as many like rooftops you can go in on top of like you can now with this beta or with this version of the map. But yeah, I didn't enjoy it too much. I just don't enjoy maps where there are 1,000 rooftops and 1,000 rooms you can go in. That was my problem with a lot of the maps in MW19 and in MW2. Way too many rooms, way too many doors, way too many hallways, corridors, roofs. Not my style of map, unfortunately. So I would say realistically, that's the main reason why I didn't like Favela. Maybe I might even put Favela lower than Estate. My issue with Estate was it was just huge. I could never find anybody. When I did find them, they're literally just across the map, like on the other side, just shooting at me. I don't need all my maps to basically be the size of Shipment. I actually think Shipment's the worst map in Call of Duty. I do think that they were just a little too large. Estate and Favela, not my favorite maps personally. Just too much going on, too many places to check, or you just literally can never find anybody personally. But those are the maps. I mean, I enjoyed them. I can't wait to see the rest of them. We're gonna get all the other MW2 maps. I'm really excited to see what Terminal's gonna play and feel and look like. I will say the visuals on the maps are really nice. The colors were nice for the most part. The design of the maps, I mean, they have that classic feel to them, but they look a little bit more modernized, and I think that's kind of what you want to go for if you're remaking a map. They all felt classic, but modern in their own ways somehow. Now let's talk about the hotly debated movement. Movement is back in Call of Duty. What do I mean by movement? I'm talking fast ADS, I'm talking quick mantling, jumping, sprinting, slide canceling. It's good, it's fun, realistically. The only issue I have with movement is the TikTokers that just spam YY, spinning their camera, looking at the ground and just destroying a guy who got off from his recent 9 to 5. Like, that's the most low effort, low tier style of content out there. But if you're actually using movement in an intelligent and smart way to actually be good at the game and not just get impressions on Twitter, it's really damn fun. I enjoyed every second of it. I don't really personally care for slide canceling, but I do care when the rest of the game feels and moves quick. I'm talking like the ADS speed, the strafe speed, the animations for just basically doing anything, reloading, you name it. When that stuff is fast and fluid, it's so much better than whatever the heck we got with MW2, where everything was slow. It's one thing if they take out slide canceling, but when everything is slow, it's just not fun, man. I like when my guns actually feel fun to kind of play with. You know, it feels like a video game. It's not meant to be realistic. It's meant to just be fun. You know, I put a sight on my gun and it doesn't just magically weigh my gun down by like 20 pounds like it does in MW2. It's a great feeling, really. Like, the attachments in the game actually buff the overall like playability and movement of the game, really. There are a lot of attachments that do that, but we'll talk about guns later on. The movement is fun. Got a good time with it. Slide canceling feels really fluid. A lot of people talk about the slide delay, which is only like 100 milliseconds or something. Now, I'll be real. I like movement in Call of Duty. I enjoy it. I don't think the slide cancel delay is the worst thing in the world. If it's anything, it's hardly noticeable, honestly. I don't think there's a problem with having a tiny bit of limitation just to keep a good balance of movement and speed and slow pace like gameplay like in order. I don't really think there's a problem with that, honestly. But they're probably going to take it out because a lot of people were not a fan of the slide delay. I really didn't have a problem with it, and I was slide canceling day in and day out throughout the entire beta, so I don't know. I don't have a problem with it. But I enjoyed the movement overall. Can't wait to play around with it on the other maps. It just felt really fluid. It felt really smooth. And again, everything else feeling fluid and smooth, from the gunplay to the animations to your ADS speed, all of that, not getting penalized for basically putting an attachment on your gun. All of it just felt so fluid altogether. It just made the movement system overall just feel phenomenal. And then I guess we could talk about let's talk about the perks. We'll talk about the perking system in this game. So we're over here with the gear perk system, meaning all your pieces of perks are pieces of gear, basically. Gloves handle things like faster ADS speed. What else we got? Boots, they handle like faster running speed, slide speed, dead silence, etc. I actually really like the system for the most part, for a variety of reasons. I have a video coming out basically breaking down the perk system. But in short summary, you get vests that are basically, in my opinion, like wildcards / extra perks that add some kind of bonus to your character. Like, for example, the engineer perk allows you to see kill streaks and equipment through walls and stuff, but it also gives you an extra slot for another perk. But it also takes away your grenades. I actually like kind of the yin and yang system. It kind of reminds me of the pick 10 / creative class system we used to have back in the day, and I really wish that would come back. But it was cool to see when you added certain vests, they took some things away and gave you some things, and vice versa, so making you kind of have to choose. One of the vests, now I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, when you would equip this vest, it would give you some bonus, but then it would take away one of your existing 3 perk slots. So you kind of had to choose, like, do I want to run this for the benefit of it, or do I want to just use my regular perks? I think that kind of stuff really creates a fun balance and some kind of decision making when it comes to playing Call of Duty, which is important in my opinion. A lot of Call of Duties had a lot of decision making like systems in play because of the creative class system and whatnot. So I think the perk system is actually really fun, and I can't wait to see what other vests and perks they bring in. We didn't get them all during the beta. There's more to look at, and I can't wait to play around with them. Let's talk about map voting. Map voting is back. I mean, there's not much to say. I'm happy it's back. We can vote for the maps we want. We can just try. We can fight over what maps we don't want to vote for. You know, I don't know why they keep ripping this feature out every single Call of Duty. Like, I think Cold War had map voting. I don't remember if Vanguard did. I don't think it did. I don't really remember. I didn't play that game like that. MW2 obviously didn't have it. MW19 obviously didn't have it. I don't get it. I don't get why we keep taking this feature out. Like, there are some really shit maps in Modern Warfare 2 that I never want to play, and my only way to avoid it is literally just leaving the lobby. Like, that game has a plethora of maps that are just absolutely abhorrent, and I don't want to play them. It's so weird that they keep taking away the map voting system. But it's great to have it back. That's the one downside with MW3. It's basically got a bunch of shit that the MW2 should have had. You know, like, I'm not talking movement, I'm just talking overall quality, like quality, gameplay quality that MW2 should have had. We'll talk about gameplay overall in a minute, but I'm happy we have map voting back. I'm happy we have it back. All right, let's talk about weapons, gameplay, and whatever else at this point. The weapons are fun. I mean, some of them are a little broken. I'm talking about the Striker. That gun, you could build it to literally be better than every single AR in the entire game, and I'm not joking. There's a no recoil Striker build that I posted on my YouTube channel recently, and it doesn't move. It's damn good. They gotta buff some of the weapons. I don't think they need to nerf them. Well, okay, actually, I do think they need to nerf the Striker. They gotta buff some of the other weapons too, just to make them a little bit more in line. but not too strong because I personally also like the really slow TTK that the game has. I just prefer that. I prefer that Black Ops 3, Black Ops 4, Cold War style kind of health. It's not fun to be getting obliterated in 2 bullets. And that was kind of the issue with the Striker. It made the TTK feel inconsistent. Same with the AN94, that one was just far too weak. Like, that thing takes like 8 or 9 bullets to literally kill somebody from my experience. I'm just throwing a number out there. It's probably an official number. Don't take my word for law or anything. I'm just saying, it takes a long time to kill somebody with the AN94. The Striker literally kills you in 4 bullets pretty much at any range on the map for the most part. So some of the weapon balancing has to be adjusted to make everything kind of feel understandable, you know? Again, losing a gunfight at long range with an AR to an SMG is just weird. It's a weird feeling, you know? So I hope they are able to figure out kind of how they want to do the weapon balancing properly. It was just a little inconsistent. But the guns overall are extremely fun. The sniper rifle, that's an AK with 25 bullets, is a little stupid and broken, to be honest. 25 bullets in a sniper rifle is a little obnoxious for a game like this where you got fast ADS and fast running around, and I just take a couple out. But overall, I enjoyed the guns, man. Even the pistols were fun to use. Oh, and the weirdest thing I saw that people complained about was the Vanguard sights in the game. Now, mind you, Sledgehammer did make Vanguard as well, so it's not surprising. But I want you guys to just think back to the pictures you saw of your grandfather in World War II, all right? Tell me, you know, and this is in relation to Vanguard, tell me where you saw him slide canceling across the beaches of Normandy with a red dot on his fully automatic M1 Garand. Like, come on, man. The sights actually fit this game so much better than they do in Vanguard. It's not even funny. They generally look good in this game. Kind of reminds me of something from like a futuristic Call of Duty or whatever, like with the way the sights just kind of play. I wanted to throw that little tidbit in there because I thought it was kind of funny. Everything was fun. Everything felt fun and fluid for the most part, except for the AN94. I tried to make some videos on it. That thing is just horrible. That gun sucks. I didn't play with the battle rifles. I didn't play with the LMGs. I just didn't have a lot of time to play with some of these guns during the beta. But I did play with most of what you call the meta or whatever. I still can't believe people are trying to find a meta in a beta. That's a little ridiculous. But I did get a chance to play with a good portion of the guns, save for those couple of categories. Oh, and shotguns. I didn't try the shotguns. I was more interested in the long range weapons anyway, so yeah, you know, it is what it is. Grenades are strong in this game, and sometimes EOD does not work. I'm just throwing that out there because I just saw a clip of it in this video that I have playing in the background. Grenades are very good in this game, and EOD straight up just does not work sometimes. But anyway, yeah, weapons are good. It just feels good overall. And then I guess we could talk about like overall gameplay, I guess. Oh, one thing I didn't mention too was the equipment. The trophy system is probably the most useful piece of equipment, and then you've got the medical box, the munitions box, and I can't remember what the other one was. I mean, medical box basically gives you a faster regen. Yeah, and the regen in the game is actually pretty bad too for your health. It takes a while for your health to come back. I think they just need to buff that overall. Some people think they need to bring stems back. I don't think they need to bring stems back. Just make health regen better. If you bring stems back, it just makes gameplay balance just weird in my opinion. That was an issue for Black Ops 4 and I think even MW19. Like, you're shooting somebody, they round a corner, they come back their full health immediately. That's just a little silly to me, in my personal opinion. I think they just need to overall buff the health regen system and make it a little bit better than what it is now, pretty much. A couple other things to note I didn't mention in the gameplay like discussion. You know, we got tacticals, we got lethals, we've got dude, I'm so happy I didn't play when Battle Rage was just absolutely broken, because even playing it against it in this beta was absurd. You shoot somebody and they just can't die sometimes. I really don't like Battle Rage in general, and I don't see what purpose it serves. It's like a cracked out version of Stems, like, but it just does more than the Stems did. I don't like Battle Rage. Flashbangs are pretty damn obnoxious, and it feels like tactical mass does not work like 40% of the time, but you can invert flashbangs so they don't flash your screen white, and with this Call of Duty, you can now look away from flashbangs like it's Counter-Strike, and they will do far less like visual impairment compared to previous Call of Duties. So that's actually really, really cool. I'm happy they added that as a feature. So a majority of that stuff was good stuff. Let's kind of talk about the things that were just kind of weird. So Number 1 on that list is visibility. Visibility in the game was kind of bad. I didn't get a chance to play during the PlayStation beta, so I didn't get the chance to really experience how bad it was at first. It could be a little inconsistent. There are plenty of moments where I've shot teammates thinking they were my enemies. What I ended up doing to kind of mitigate that was changing all of my teammates to like a lime green, neon green kind of color to make them stand out a little bit more, especially through walls and stuff where their icons and their names would appear. And it made it a lot more bearable than just having them be that little pale blue color that you could barely see. So, I mean, for the full release, if they don't really do too much for the visibility thing, try changing your teammates' like icons to like neon green. But I mean, visibility overall was better this beta in comparison to what I saw for the previous beta. It just, it needs a little bit of work still. I don't know what you could do to adjust it. I don't think you need to make the characters look as bright as humanly possible. But I do think it's a little inconsistent. There are just so many moments where I see somebody and then the next moment I feel like I have no idea where this person is. There are people I've been finding like hiding in corners. They just blended in with their environment and so forth. Like not too much to really complain about it, because what can you realistically do too much for visibility, you know? But overall, I mean, it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great either. So I hope they're able to adjust it in some kind of way for the full release. We technically already talked about like how the guns feel in terms of balance. That was going to be one of the things I talk about in the whatever kind of category. But I mean, overall, like the weapon balance system again, it's just a little inconsistent. Got to change it up a little bit and buff a couple things, nerf a couple of things, and just kind of bring everything in line. And finally, we are on to the absolutely worst parts of the beta that made me question my entire sanity. First, we're going to talk about skill-based matchmaking. I'm going to keep this subject brief and short because I hate this topic and a lot of people always get upset about it. Maybe it's because it's a beta and everybody's tryharding really hard for like their little clips or whatever. But goddamn, bro, I have one good game when I'm using like a sniper, and I don't snipe at all. I never snipe. I go maybe like 30 and 18 or 15 or something. Like the game decides, you know, to put me against people with no thumbs for my first game on after a few hours of not playing. Sure, I have fun. I smash a few people, you know, get 30 kills and do pretty good. Then the next game that I'm in is where I have a huge issue with the whole SBMM system, because suddenly I am just thrown into a lobby against people that are all on my level, capable of shooting. Now, my issue with skill-based is not the fact that it exists. I understand why it exists. It kind of keeps those people that want to be more chill and casual away from the people that are cracked out of their mind. That's perfectly fine with me. My problem with skill-based is when I'm solo queuing and I get put up against 6 stacks of people exactly on my level or playing even harder than me, but my teammates do not shoot back whatsoever. Skill-based on paper is not necessarily the world's worst thing. I really don't care about it like that. I only care about it when it literally puts me against an entire team of people playing just like me. Like if it's like 1 or 2 people, that's whatever. But going up against an entire squad by myself, trying to carry 5 other people, it's like, dude, I'm not that damn good. Hold on. Like, I had one good game because the game's logic decided to throw me into an early game lobby to basically determine what other kind of lobbies I'm gonna get for the rest of the day. I'm not that damn good of a player. Like, really, I'm not, man. I still have casual, like, tendencies. I play with dumb builds, and I play with things that are weak just for fun. Like, I have one good game, and the game thinks I'm literally a world champion. No, like, it's just obnoxious. It has to be toned down a tiny bit. They don't have to remove it because they never will, and I also understand why a lot of casual people want it in the game. But for pubs to be this, like, tight with the SBMM, it's just like, holy cow, man. I still just want to have fun and play the game too, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to sweat that damn hard, at least not against entire stacks of people. Again, if it's one person, I don't really care. But against entire stacks is just a bit brutal, man. And the spawns in this game are literally some of the worst spawns I've ever seen in my life. Skid Row kind of gets a pass because the spawns, for the most part, felt pretty stable. But on high rise especially, those spawns are abhorrent. I couldn't tell if people were either taking the underground tunnels or literally just respawning right behind me. But you know what? I knew it had to not be the tunnels that they were taking underground, because I spawned behind people so many times when I was playing on high rise. I non-stop spawned behind the enemy team every single time I'm playing on the map. spawns literally are probably my biggest complaint, even more than the SBMM in the game. Those two are kind of hand in hand, really, but the spawns are just, woo, baby, they are not good in this game. They gotta fix those. Otherwise, I don't really have too many things to complain about. Like, for the first time in a while, I feel good about a COD beta. I enjoyed this beta arguably more than I did the Cold War beta, sorta, kinda. If anything, they're kind of hand in hand. But I definitely enjoyed it more than the MW2 and MW19 betas. That's a given. It's not even close. Those two betas were some of the biggest slogs I've ever played in my life. They were boring, just campy. Vanguard, I actually don't even remember if I even played the beta for that. That's how much I really care about Vanguard. I don't really remember anything about that game, honestly. Overall, I thought the game felt great, really. Just some adjustments with the spawns and the visibility. And I think we're in for a really, really great year overall, be it you're a casual, be it you're a complainer about sweats or a sweat yourself. I think it's generally going to be a good year of COD for the first time in a while, honestly. If they adjust those spawns, get the maps feeling like really good and flowy, then I think we're in for a good year. That's pretty much my entire review for the game. Now, is it actually worth $70? Ha, I tricked you. I said I wasn't going to say this at the beginning of the video, but now I am. I think it's worth $70 if you got a chance to play the beta and actually enjoy it. Like, if you enjoy a faster paced Call of Duty, I know a lot of people are going to complain because it's basically built on the MW2 platform, which it is. I make Call of Duty content, so I personally am going to say it's worth it because I had fun. I had fun during the beta. I enjoyed literally every iota of the beta for the most part. It was a good time. For the person looking, from the outside in, I mean, it's going to be hard to judge, honestly. I really don't know what to say for that kind of stuff. Is it worth it or not? It just depends on what kind of person you are. If you didn't play MW2, then sure, yeah, like, give this game a try. If you played MW2 and you don't like super fast gameplay and all of that, then you already know what kind of judgment to make there. I had a good time. I think it's personally worth it, and I'm going to be buying it because I also want to make videos and stuff on it, and I had a good time with what little beta content that I was able to make and stream. It was just a blast overall for me personally. Those are my thoughts on everything, guys. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like on it. I did say I was going to keep it short, and wow, that turned out to be a lie. I do apologize if this was a little bit long, but again, hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next video.